Hyung, I'm sorry I stayed silent for so long. That sentence was quiet, barely audible, but it was enough to take the breath away from everyone who witnessed it. Jungkook, the youngest who always seemed strong and cheerful, now stood hugging Taehyung tightly, not caring that his military uniform was soaked in tears that wouldn't stop falling. And oh, ARMY ever expected that this day would come. A day when all the tension, the silence, and the distance that had once stood between them collapsed in one long, emotional embrace. The military camp, cold air, and heavy steps. It was an ordinary day. The weather in Gyeonggi-do was windy, the sky gray, and soldiers continued their training as usual. Nothing seemed out of the ordinary until a vehicle stopped in front of the camp gate. Kim Taehyung stepped out with an unreadable expression, calm, but clearly carrying something heavy in his mind. He wasn't there for any official duty. He came for someone, for his brother, for Jungkook. They hadn't met as ordinary people in a long time, without cameras, without a stage, without a script. And that day, they finally met again. First encounter after a long separation. According to an eyewitness at the camp, Taehyung entered a small meeting room. Jungkook followed several minutes later. No voices were heard.
No laughter.
No loud greetings like before. Just two men with too many unsaid things in their hearts. The conversation lasted almost an hour. No one knew what was said, but their expressions when they exited the room were enough to choke anyone up. Taehyung stood still, his eyes glassy with emotion. Jungkook stared at the ground, biting his lip, then suddenly, without warning, ran toward Taehyung and hugged him tightly. I still need you in my life, Hyung. The moment was silent, as if the whole world stopped turning to make room for two hearts finally speaking. Jungkook cried. His shoulders shook. His voice broke. And the words he spoke next were heartbreakingly sincere. I still need you in my life, Hyung. Taehyung said nothing for a few seconds. Then, he slowly lifted his arms and returned Jungkook's hug. Not with a smile, not with sweet words, but with one gentle pat on Jungkook's back, a gesture only they truly understood. ARMY couldn't believe what just happened. Some staff members who witnessed the moment reportedly captured it from afar. Though blurry, the emotional photos spread quietly across online communities, sparking massive emotional reactions from fans. I've never cried over two people hugging, but this is different. Korean ARMY, is this a sign they've finally forgiven each other? Thai ARMY, if I could, I'd hug both of them. Indonesian ARY, what really happened between them? Many are now asking, why did Jungkook cry like that? Was there a conflict they'd been hiding all this time? Why did it all come out now? Several theories have surfaced. That Jungkook had felt abandoned by Taehyung since they began focusing on solo projects. That Taehyung brought important news about their post-military future. Or even that this was their final goodbye as taekook before everything changed. Whatever the truth is, one thing is certain. That hug was not just a hug. It was a hug that saved something on the brink of being lost. HYB remained silent. But the world IS&T, as expected, HYB has not released any official statement. But this time, fans don't seem to care. They don't need confirmation. They've already seen it for themselves. For the first time in a long while, the world saw Jungkook and Taehyung not as idols, but as two humans who were once incredibly close and finally found their way back to each other. Final thoughts. Not all wounds need explaining. Some just need a hug. That military camp moment may never appear in an official documentary. It may never be part of a concert film. It may never be posted on their Instagram accounts. But for those who witnessed it, it was one of the most honest moments ever seen from BTS. I hope this isn't the end, but a new beginning for the two of them. ARMY New York, because in the end, no matter how far they go, sometimes real love only needs one hug and one simple sentence to follow up article. Is this real or fabricated? Jungkook's hug for Taehyung. Fact or just sensation? A hug. A tearful idol. A simple sentence that shook the fandom world. I still need you in my life, Hyung. This sentence, reportedly spoken by Jungkook while embracing Taehyung at a military base, spread like wildfire. From Korea to the US, Brazil to Indonesia, ARMY across the world stopped, felt, and questioned. But one question keeps echoing louder each day. Did this really happen? Or are we being played by a masterfully written narrative when fact and fiction blur together, let's be honest? For over a decade, BTS has been the subject of countless speculations, theories, and near-endless fan fictions. Their interpersonal dynamics, body language, and words have been dissected to microscopic levels. So when such a dramatic moment appears, Jungkook crying in Taehyung's arms, uttering a broken confession, we must ask, did this actually happen the way it's being told? Or is this too perfect a story to be true? Underscore 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 underscore. What do we know? And what don't we know? From previous articles and alleged eyewitness accounts, we know Taehyung arrived at the camp unannounced. They had a private 1-hour talk. Jungkook looked different afterward. Some claim to have seen them embrace and cry, but we must remember, there's no official footage, no close-up photo, no confirmation from hybe, no verifiable documentation. Everything we know comes from anonymous military staff, unverified fan accounts, and emotional interpretations from fans who want to see reconciliation. We are caught between the desire to believe and the need to be skeptical. Could this be a media strategy? Some K-pop industry observers have spoken up. They suggest that emotional moments like these may be used by certain parties to revive public interest in BTS during military hiatus, keep hybe idols relevant amid intense 5th-gen K-pop competition, set up an emotional plotline for future documentaries, or comeback marketing. The question is, are we witnessing a raw human moment or a carefully crafted public drama? The feelings are real, but is the event? For many armies, the emotions they felt reading or hearing the story were very real. The tears, the hope, the relief, it all felt deeply personal. But as a mature fandom, we must ask, are these emotions born from an actual moment or from a story crafted to make us feel them? Are we seeing BTS history unfold or simply falling into a well-designed emotional trap? There's nothing wrong with feeling, nothing wrong with hoping, but there must be balance between an open heart and a sharp mind. If it's a hoax, why do so many want to believe it? Because we love stories of forgiveness, because we miss the closeness between Taehyung and Jungkook, because the world is tired and the story of two friends reconciling might be just what we need, and maybe because we all want to believe that behind the fame, the cameras, and the industry pressure, there's still a human heart crying and hugging the one they need most. Conclusion: it's up to you, but don't stop questioning. Do you believe Jungkook really hugged Taehyung and said, "I still need you in my life"? Or do you think this is a string of emotions crafted by a collective fan desire? Maybe the truth lies somewhere in between. Maybe we'll never fully know, and maybe that's not even the point. What matters is how this story makes us reflect on friendship, longing, reality, and hope. On how we, as humans, sometimes need a hug, even if it's just in a story.